Welcome back. In this video, we are going to withdraw the funds from the paper wallet that we have created in the last video and put them back into a hot wallet. Now remember that this is once again a critical step. So generally for cold storage, the most vulnerable part of the whole lifetime of a cold wallet is both the creation of the paper wallet as well as the withdrawal of your Bitcoin from these paper wallets. So for this, make sure that you are working in a safe environment. You want the hot wallet to be in a safe place. So make sure you're working with a trustworthy system and wallet. I won't go further into this as you have already received more information about this in the setup video. But also make sure that you are working in a calm place where there is nobody around you and there is no time pressure and anything. So you want to be sure that nobody spies on you. And speaking of this, maybe you'll also want to turn off your cell phone, as this device is probably the best spy you have in your life. If you are aiming to withdraw a big amount of money from your paper wallet, I'd recommend you to first import a sloppy wallet, which only has a small amount of money on it, and then maybe wait for like an hour or something. So then, if your money is still there after some time passes, you could at least trust your hot wallet and your importing process to some degree. If you have multiple paper wallets, make sure that you import the one private key which has a Bitcoin amount that correlates best with the amount of Bitcoin you want to spend. So for example, if you want to spend 0.1 Bitcoin but you import a private key that has 20 Bitcoin on it, you're essentially putting 20 Bitcoin at risk when you actually only want to spend 0.1 Bitcoin. So that would be a pretty bad choice there. There are basically two ways how you can move your funds from your paper wallet to a hot wallet. You can either import your private key or sweep your private key. Now if you import your private key, it is pretty straightforward. You basically just copy the private key into your hot wallet. So then the private key in your wallet really is the same as on your paper wallet. This can be a security issue because now if you throw away your paper wallet and somebody would find it, they could spend your Bitcoin even though you maybe thought that your Bitcoin only exists in your hot wallet, which of course is not true. Vice versa, somebody could break into your hot wallet and spend your Bitcoin there, and your paper wallet would lose all its Bitcoin. For this reason, it is generally recommended not to import your private key, but rather to sweep it. Now, if you sweep your private key, the same thing happens. The wallet imports your private key, but then with this imported private key, the first thing it does is creating a new transaction, and it sends all of your funds from this private key to a new private key. So then, the paper wallet really is in a sense empty afterwards. There are some wallets that only let you import private keys, and there are some wallets that let you import and sweep private keys. But most wallets will only let you sweep private keys. This is because this is the only way for them to integrate your paper wallet into their internal hierarchical deterministic wallet. If your wallet only lets you import your private key, I'd recommend you to sweep this private key manually. So you would do this by sending all the funds from the private key to yourself to a new private key created by your hot wallet. Whenever you are going to import entire mnemonics, this basically behaves like importing, not like sweeping. So there too, you might want to consider sending your funds to a new wallet so that you are not vulnerable anymore to your paper wallet. Now, even if you sweep your private keys, you should still treat your old private keys confidentially, as you could have made a mistake and maybe there is still some money on it, but also because if somebody knows your extended public key plus one private key, he could find out all of your private keys from this account. Satoshi himself even said once that you should also never throw away or delete any of your private keys, since, you're only human and humans can make mistakes. The drawback of sweeping your private key is that you have a transaction that has to be confirmed on the Bitcoin network. So this will take some time, and you will also have to pay some transaction fees, but you know, you gotta bite the bullet there. It is still the superior method of the two. Okay, so let's get back to our paper wallet that we have created in the last video. I have put some pictures here for you to remember the data. So we have here the mnemonic seed, and then here some private keys. And all of the sensitive data here is password protected. So here is the password we used for the encryption. And then here you can see the balance in my Sentinel app. So we currently have 0.0031 Bitcoin on this paper wallet, and it's distributed to 3 addresses, namely the address number 1, number 2, and number 5. So what we want to try now is to import the private key number 2, and if we look for the address on blockchair.com, we can see that there is actually 0.001 Bitcoin on this address. So we will try to import this into a hot wallet. Now remember that this private key is encrypted here, and most wallets do not allow for directly importing encrypted private keys. So in this case, we would have to decrypt the private key first using the CoinGlacier. However, there are also a few wallets that actually do deliver this functionality, and one of them is the app Mycelium. So let's see if we can import our private key into the Mycelium wallet. So for this, I click on the menu icon in the top right corner, and then I click on cold storage. And here I have the possibility to scan a QR code, which I will obviously do. And then it already scanned it. I think you didn't even see that. But here you can see it recognized that my private key is encrypted, and it lets me enter a password here. So this would actually be a very straightforward way to import an encrypted private key. But we are not going to do that right now, because I am going to show you the more complicated way, since most wallets do not support this simple and easy way. Instead, we are going to manually decrypt our encrypted private key. And for this, we once again open our coinglacier.org file, and then, as you can see here, there's a menu entry that lets you decrypt. And in fact, it lets you decrypt private keys, but also entire mnemonics. But for now, let's just decrypt this private key. So I will enter here the encrypted private key, and then here the password, and the decryption starts. Now this takes a while, since this decryption is very resource intensive. Here we go. And here is our private key in plain text and vulnerable, ready to be swept into a hot wallet. But before we do that, I would like to show you that you can also decrypt the entire mnemonic. And for this, I will enter the mnemonic here, and then the password. And here we go. And here we can have all the addresses we put onto our paper wallet, and even more than that. Now notice that there is a difference between the private key decryption and the mnemonic decryption. With the private key decryption, the CoinGlacier can find out by itself what type of address belongs to the private key. However, when you decrypt a mnemonic, it doesn't know whether you want to have SegWit addresses, or Bech32 addresses, or even non-SegWit addresses. It is clueless about it. It is also clueless about how many addresses you want to derive from it. So you will have to specify all of this. And for us, of course, we need a Bech32 address. And now, as you can see, the derived addresses match the addresses on the paper wallet. But there is also another difference between the private key decryption and the mnemonic decryption. So let's change back to the private key decryption. And now let's use a wrong password for the decryption. And let's wait a bit. And now it will inform us that our password was actually wrong. But if you do the same in the mnemonic decryption, it will actually always work. With every wrong password, it will always work. So you will never know that you tried a wrong password. And therefore, you really need to be careful when you enter the password and double check it so you don't make any mistake. Because if the password is wrong, the addresses you will receive will all be empty. This is a protection that makes it harder for an attacker to find out your password, since he doesn't get any feedback on the passwords he tries. Now have a look at the ending of this private key here, Plark YY, okay? And now we're going back to the private key decryption, and we decrypt it again and check if the private keys match. And here we have it, Plark YY. Yes, that's the same. So everything seems to work fine. So now let's finally import that private key that we've got here. And for this, you could really choose like almost any wallet, as almost all the wallets out there support this functionality. But I am going to use my Samurai wallet on my cell phone. And here in the top right corner, I hit on this menu icon, these three little dots. And then I hit sweep private key. And here I hit scan. So I will just scan the QR code right off my screen. And then it asks me if I really want to sweep this private key and paying the according fees. And I do. And here we go. I have now moved my funds to my Samurai wallet, and from here I can send them to wherever I want to. And if I now switch back to my Sentinel app and check the balance on my paper wallet, let me quickly display the correct wallet. Then you can see here that I now have only 0.0021 Bitcoins available on my paper wallet, and that 0.001 Bitcoin have been moved to another address, which of course is an address to which I control the corresponding private key in my Samurai wallet. So now I will send the funds back to my Bitcoin Core wallet, and for this I hit receive and request payment. And in the Samurai wallet I hit on this blue plus button and then send, and then I just scan the QR code off my screen. Now since I want to send all the funds, I just hit on max available and then I send. Now here it asks me something about Stonewall, which is a privacy feature from the Samurai wallet, but I will just continue here. And it's gone. I'm left with 0 BTC on my Samurai wallet. Now what I'm going to do is to delete my entire wallet from my Samurai app, just because I want to start from 0 when I afterwards show you how you can import the entire mnemonic seed. And for this I open the menu and hit on settings, and then here I click on wallet, and at the bottom I can secure erase the wallet. And now it's gone. I have a fresh Samurai wallet, and in fact Samurai has made a backup of the wallet I just deleted, so it is still there in case I would need it. But for now we want to continue with importing the entire mnemonic seed from our paper wallet. And as you can see in my Sentinel wallet, there's actually still 0.0021 Bitcoin on my paper wallet. And in fact, these funds are distributed onto two different addresses, namely the address number 1 and the address number 5 of our paper wallet. But as you will see, we can still import all the funds at once, even if it were like 50 addresses or something, by just simply importing the mnemonic seed into the Samurai wallet. Now for doing this, I open the menu and then I hit Import External Wallet. And here we can now import our mnemonic seed. Now let me quickly do that. Okay, Now notice that we have the possibility here to add a BIP39 password to our mnemonic, which of course we should since our mnemonic is password protected. However, for now we are not going to add our password because I would like to show you that this procedure will actually always work, whether you add a password or not, or you insert the wrong password. However, if you do so, the balance that is shown will then be 0, because the wallet generates different private keys depending on what password you entered. So whenever this happens to you, when you are importing your mnemonic and there is no error message at all, however you get a balance of 0 Bitcoin, which you think should not be the case, then probably you have made a mistake with the password. So try again and be particularly careful with the password. So I hit next, and here I can enter a PIN code, which, in contrary to the password, has nothing to do with the derivation of our private keys, but just serves as a protection, so you will always have to enter this PIN code when you want to make a transaction later on. And here we go. Just as expected, 0 Bitcoin, our wallet is empty. So to correct this, let me once again delete this entire wallet, and then we start all over again by importing an external wallet, and I'll enter the mnemonic seed once again. Okay, and this time we are going to use the correct password here, very secret, and the PIN code, and then let's import the wallet again. And this time everything worked fine, and we now have all our funds available in our Samurai wallet. Please note though that this form of importing paper wallets is actually like importing, not like sweeping. So in order to invalidate the data on your paper wallet, you might want to sweep the funds manually. So for this, you can just create a transaction to yourself, and I will actually do this right now by sending all the funds back to my Bitcoin Core client. And now the paper wallet should be empty. So we can check this if we go over to our Sentinel app. Okay, not yet, but let me quickly reload it. And here we go. So our paper wallet is now empty, but then in my Satoshi client, you can see that I have received my Bitcoin here. Okay, so I think we're through with this. Now, I want to mention one last thing, even though I think I'm stating the obvious here, but it is very important, so I'll say it anyways. Do never reuse any paper wallet, okay? If you need a new paper wallet, create a new one, but do not use one that you have already used before. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and if you're left with any questions, just write them down in the comments below.